What if everyone jumped at the same time? This question comes from literally millions of people on the internet who for some reason want to know what would happen if everyone on Earth jumped at the exact same time. Let's assume this hypothetical jump is organized with incredible precision. 8 billion people, spread all around the world, get the same countdown. 3, 2, 1, jump. There's no hesitation, no one forgets, no lag in satellite internet. Just one clean, synchronized hop. First, let's consider the energy involved. The average human weighs about 62 kilograms and can jump a few centimeters off the ground. Nothing Olympic level, just your standard enthusiastic bounce. That gives us a rough estimate of 8 billion small vertical launches, each pushing off the Earth with a bit of force. Now, in physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, when you jump, you actually push the Earth downward a tiny bit. Of course, you don't notice it, because the Earth weighs a lot. Specifically, Earth weighs about 6 sextillion metric tons. That's a 6 followed by 21 zeros. By comparison, 8 billion humans weigh about 500 million metric tons in total. It's like trying to move a freight train by throwing ping pong balls at it. Still, let's say everyone jumps at the same time. Do we actually move the Earth? Technically, yes, briefly. When we push off the ground, the Earth gets a tiny nudge in the opposite direction. The math tells us that Earth would move about 1/100th of a nanometer. That's smaller than the diameter of a hydrogen atom. Congratulations, we moved the planet, barely. But what about when we land? Here's where things get messy. You see, when everyone comes back down, they hit the ground with the same force they used to jump. Only this time, that force is absorbed by the Earth all at once. So while the upward movement of Earth is minuscule, the downward shock of 8 billion simultaneous landings might make a bit more noise. Would we feel it? Would the Earth shake? Probably, but not in the way you might hope. If everyone jumped in one small area, say, we all crammed into New York City or an empty desert, then the landing might register on seismometers. You'd probably get a small, localized tremor, kind of like a minor earthquake. Glasses might rattle, a squirrel might fall out of a tree. But if everyone is jumping in their own locations around the globe, the shock waves would cancel each other out. It would be like dropping marbles on a trampoline from all directions at once. Some waves collide and flatten, others bounce off each other. The end result? Not much happens. All right, but what if we get creative? What if we put everyone in the same place? Let's say we gather all 8 billion people into one giant field the size of Rhode Island. It's a tight fit, but possible. If we all agree to be very polite and not breathe too hard, now we try again. 3, 2, 1, jump. The impact of 8 billion people hitting the ground in the same place might register as a small earthquake. Estimates vary, but it could be around a magnitude 4 on the Richter scale. That's enough to rattle shelves, crack a few windows, and terrify a lot of dogs. But it wouldn't topple buildings or send shockwaves across the planet. Sorry to disappoint the doomsday crowd. In fact, seismic researchers have already detected events like this, on a much smaller scale. For example, during major football matches when thousands of fans jump up and down in unison after a goal, seismometers nearby often pick up little football quakes. Multiply that by a few million, and you might get something noticeable. Multiply that by 8 billion, and you've got a global stadium with very sore knees. But the real problem isn't the jump itself, it's what happens after. You see, once we've all landed and realized nothing exciting occurred, we're left with a far more complicated situation. Everyone on Earth is in the same place. 8 billion people, shoulder to shoulder, in one giant field. The logistics become apocalyptic. There's no food, no bathrooms, no internet. People start arguing. Someone steals someone's shoes. A toddler wanders off. Within hours, the entire thing devolves into a disorganized, chaotic mess that makes Woodstock look like a quiet church picnic. And remember, everyone left their homes, cities, and infrastructure behind. Once we've jumped and landed, we now have to get everyone back to where they came from. Imagine the world's largest traffic jam. Flights are booked solid for months. Luggage is lost forever. A guy in Belgium now lives in the Philippines because he got on the wrong train. So, while the idea of everyone jumping at once sounds fun, like some grand show of unity or a cool science experiment. The practical consequences are a nightmare. From a physics standpoint, the Earth barely notices. From a human standpoint, it's total chaos. In the end, maybe it's best to let this idea stay hypothetical. Or if you're really curious, try organize